on, everyone? Welcome. It is that time of year again. No, unfortunately, it's not. The video announcing the anniversary stream. Sorry. No, it's a bit easier for me to do with my current setup. It's EGX 2023 recap. No, I know it was over a week ago. No, it was about 2 weeks ago now because MCM has come by. But I was busy last week. Had important stuff to do. Obviously, coming back from having like a week off, having the sort of 4 days off. I don't know, it was more than that, wasn't it? Because then I was essentially from Wednesday to the Monday. Anyway, I'm here to recap in the most scuffed way possible EGX 2023. I took notes this time. Oh yeah, I took goddamn notes apart from day 4, because day 4 was what, it would have been 8 hours long, I think. So I didn't write down notes for it. So let's go through as me trying to get all this stuff right. So EGX. Now I'm going to start this off with trying to convince people to still go to EGX, because little kind of thing, it does feel like gaming conventions have kind of dropped off hugely because of the pandemic. I mean, E3, you know, do people go, oh my god, do you remember E3? You know, remember that used to be a thing? And now all the developers, publishers, game companies and all that kind of stuff, they all just do their own little live streams every now and then. So it's not really a thing, and kind of, you know, going back to 2021 EGX and people saying that there wasn't much there was a lot of empty space, and there is that still kind of thing, but I still think it's because, like, sort of the big game companies, all American, won't sort of, you know, get a ton more publicity if they sent their stuff over for a gaming convention in the UK, which is unfortunate, because remembering back to the first time I went to EGX when it was called Eurogamer Expo in 2013 in Earl's Court, and it was a huge thing, and then EGX in 2019 was a huge thing, and obviously since then it's been kind of on the smaller scale, but I still think it's been quite sizable. There's still been a lot of things to do. There's still been a lot of attention and sort of just a lot of stuff in general. So yes, while it has scaled down from before the pandemic, I do believe it has been growing. Not back to where it was beforehand, but it's definitely gotten to that stage again where, for the casual person, yeah, definitely worth it. More worth it now. But with that out of the way, EGX, the Eurogamer Expo, which is not called Eurogamer Expo anymore, it's just EGX 2023 London, because I think I have to specify that. Let's see what was there. First of all, the biggest change is that for this EGX, and from what I know from reports, the next 2 EGXs, so 2024 and 2025, are all going to be partnered with TikTok. Yeah, so previously EGX had partnered with Virgin Media. It'd been a lot of the sort of things powered by Virgin Media, all that. You've seen it everywhere if you've seen any bit of EGX. This year, there was no Virgin Media, well, presence, pretty much, at all. Now, previously, there'd been some TikTok stands, can't remember 2019. It's 4 years ago. Jesus Christ. But 2021, 2022, there was TikTok stands and, you know, kind of some stuff for, you know, kind of being like, hey, TikTok, to get some TikTok creators. Now, I actually see this as a good thing, because Virgin Media with their internet mainly is terrible, right? What's going on? Don't you dare. Is it frozen? Sorry, my everything just frozen there. Oops. Sorry. Like I said, this setup's scuffed. Right, so Virgin Media, maybe it's because I'm on Virgin Media trying to lag out my stuff. Virgin Media Internet, terrible. Virgin Media TV, Virgin Media are kind of just, you know, they're not really a thing. They're only a thing in the UK. They're not big anywhere else. They're kind of they're like a big sort of thing, but everything's kind of overtaken them. And yeah, so it's a good thing that we're getting that. Obviously, EGX is partnered with a better thing. I don't know. See, look, I'm on TikTok, right? So I can't say much because TikTok is addictive as hell. But it's also a good thing because TikTok does have a gaming side to it. So even if you're not on YouTube or, you know, Twitch or anything like that, kind of, you know, fully into gaming and stuff, but you go on TikTok and you're scrolling and you see the gameplay stuff and sort of all the TikTok gamers and that kind of thing, that's the kind of thing where you go, okay, well, it can bring in those people, and possibly then the people that I want to, you know, bring to EGX, because fuck MCM, is I want sort of other people that are kind of in the TikTok social media space to then come to EGX. You know, cosplayers, please, for the love of God. Because there is cosplay stuff, we'll get onto that later. So it's a bit, I don't know which one's more embarrassing, you know, obviously because Virgin Media, Virgin, or it being partnered with TikTok. But I think a lot more people are going to be in support of TikTok being sort of the partnership with EGX than Virgin Media, considering, like I said previously, Virgin Media Internet is terrible. Right, let's get on to some of the main sort of things that were around. Actually, wait, I've still got the map. Because I've still got the app. Around. Yeah, there's an app every year, EGX, insert year here. It's still up, so I can have a look at the map, so I can just tell you, go through sort of like the important things. Obviously, there's the Rezzed sessions things, there's the left field collection. There's something that's become quite popular, or quite common, is the custom controller sort of zone. There's a new more family oriented zone next to the handheld zone, so you bring along your Switches, your Steam Decks, etc. There is the GI Academy, which is kind of more of the game industry stuff, so you can go and actually ask industry experts about sort of gaming and that kind of stuff, and how to get into it and all that kind of stuff. There is obviously the retail zone and the retro zone, obviously, which, you know, retail, you know, what do I need to describe the retail zone? You go buy your merch. Do it. Go buy merch. And the retro zone's obviously where they have sort of so much just old school, just consoles and games and stuff. I feel like they could do a lot better than they have recently. But hey, you know, it's what they have, and some of the weird games as well. Like they go, oh, it's a rare game, and I go, this is Lemmings for, I don't even know what console that is. That kind of thing. And obviously we've got the EGX Theatre and the EGX Arcade. The EGX Arcade is literal actual arcade cabinets, which is like it's more of the sort of appeal than the retro zone. There's always going to be people hanging around the EGX Arcade stuff. Obviously the theatres where you go and see all the panels and stuff like that. The EGX Arena, which is where they do a lot of the fighting game sort of tournament stuff over the weekend. We'll be getting onto that as well. And there is the, you got other stuff. You got the Dice Breaker Zone, which is all the tabletop stuff. You got the sort of cosplay section, which is mainly just like changing rooms for sort of like cosplay stuff, and also like a cosplay sort of fixing your stuff, getting someone to help you who is a sort of proper professional cosplayer, and or I assume someone who's what's the word? Sewing, good at sewing and sort of that kind of stuff. And one change that I noticed and probably no one else did is that there is no EGX Live stage anymore, because they have combined that with the community hub. It's the same thing. It's just instead, because I believe because there were certain YouTuber content creators not there, or not there in sort of the capacity of doing sort of live streams, live gameplay, and that kind of thing. It was kind of merged into the community hub, where they have more more other panels, more talks, and that kind of thing. And I mentioned the EGX, the Gauntlet. This is, I believe this was there last year, maybe the year before, and it's a gauntlet of 3 classic games where you try and get the highest score or the best score in each, and then that gets combined into a final score. Now, last year I didn't do it. This year I did. And again, we're getting more into that. I'm just going overall. Calm down. In other sort of smaller things, more specific things, there was a full Nintendo section again this year, specifically just promoting Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Like, there was nothing else there. There wasn't like a Smash Bros. Like little thing. There wasn't like Mario Kart or Mario Party, or like, no, it was pure Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and there must have been, oh god, like probably close to 100 Switches right there, and it was. Don't make a joke about Switches and then the Switch console. Don't do it. There was also a Sega section, which you may be thinking, what, just for Sonic Superstars then? No, for Sonic, the 2 Persona games, I think it's Persona 5 something and Persona 3 something. I'm not into those games. Don't come after me. I'm just saying that there was Persona 3 and Persona 5 there, and then there was also the 2 Yakuza games, but like spin-offs. It was like a Dragon, and then another one. I can't remember if that was called Yakuza. It was annoying because obviously an 18+ game, so they just block it off and you have to get in. I was just like, I might care, but currently, I can guarantee it's probably just me. It's like you just queue, go in, you get a little presentation, someone playing the game, and then that's it. They did that for Watch Dogs back in 2013. Sorry. There was, oh my god, yeah, there was a I think it was more of a Bloomberg, the movie company, because obviously October, Halloween, spooky. There was actually Friday the 13th, like the actual day, Friday the 13th, at like EGX was on Friday the 13th. That was kind of interesting. But of course, what were they trying to advertise with horror? The Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And what were they doing? They were selling Freddy Fazbear's pizzas. Which, to be honest, I saw people walking around with them and I was like, bro, that just looks like someone's made a pizza and then left it for like 20 minutes and then given it to you. It doesn't look fresh. And other things, there was Call of Duty there was, I didn't go do it because last year it was literally the Modern Warfare 2 beta, and I was like, so this is just going to be the Modern Warfare 3 beta. But people were queuing up before like the beta time would have started on Thursday, so I don't know if it was, or if it was just like LAN sort of gameplay. But then I don't know, whatever. But then also, there was a real-life, quote-unquote, giant D&D section. Unfortunately, I do not have any friends, so I didn't do it. It's just a fact. It's just the unfortunate situation. Anyway, let's get started onto the actual things for day 1. So, a bit more information onto going in and everything. There was apparently a Intel, the Intel processor people. There was apparently a coin hunt where there was like 75 coins, I think they said, and if you went and found one and brought them back, you'd get, a little bit of Intel merch. I wasn't consciously looking for it the entire time, but I didn't see any coins at all, so I don't know where they put them, and I don't know whether people just got them immediately and it was like they were all gone by like midway through day 1. But there was also a scavenger hunt through the app where you activate your badge and you can go and collect QR codes, which are sort of the achievements. You go around, collect them, and it was this time for a team-based thing. So it was Team Red, Team Blue. I was on Team Blue, and if I actually look at it here, it should tell me who won. Yeah, Team Blue won with 198,000 trophies, I guess. Scavenger hunt things. And Red with 181,000. I was on Team Blue. Obviously. I got them all, and then you get entered into like a EGX 2024 Super Pass ticket draw where you can win a Super Pass 4-day ticket thing, which is cool. So something interesting just to do over the couple of days. Just try and find like these QR codes. And I want to go on just a small tangent about QR codes. Why are we trying to bring QR codes back? You go out to like a bar or restaurant and they're like, oh yes, our menu's on this QR code. Why? Why have you got it on a QR code? Why are we going back to the early 2000s? Why? QR codes didn't work. They still don't work because my phone... Okay, my phone's not old. Well, it's kind of old now. But when I got it, it wasn't old at the time. It can't use its camera to get a QR code picture thing. It can't use the camera. I have to go and download an app that lets me scan QR codes. That should not be a thing, because QR codes should not be a thing. But regardless, I just don't like. I think QR codes are stupid. But everything being a QR code, I don't know where the resurgence has come back from. Right. So, yes, day one. What did I actually do day one? Well, apart from walking around, admiring everything, looking at all the stuff that I was going to buy, and trust me, I would show it off if it wasn't all just kind of like small things. There wasn't really anything big that I bought. Might get onto that. I might talk about that a bit on the end if we've got a bit of time. Or if I, don't go too long with everything else. So, I played, obviously, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and it's a bit unfortunate because when EGX this year was on, both Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Sonic Superstars were basically coming out in the next week or so. So, no matter when I did this recap or this video, the games would have come out, and then me talking about them and my experience playing them would have meant nothing. So it's a bit unfortunate, but I'm more here to, well, hopefully, more here to kind of bring light to EGX, kind of make people invested in kind of what's there and stuff, and what I did, and try and make it interesting rather than, oh, there was the new Super Mario Bros. Game and I played it, whatever. No. So I played it. It was interesting. I was going to do like a bit of a recap on the game, kind of how the game works. But like I said, it's out. So me doing that is kind of pointless. I will give a couple of things. I do like the, is it called a badge system? I do like the badge system because you can basically make it so for an entire level you got this certain power up that like you can't lose, I don't think. It might have certain uses. It might have limited uses. Sorry, in the full game, but there wasn't that in the demo that I played. So, but there's things that you can make the level so much easier for yourself, so you don't die constantly. Because that's my problem with Mario Brothers games, the 2D side scrollers. They're always a lot harder for me than the 3D ones. But yeah, that's just me. So you can either do it so the levels are really easy, so you've got sort of really overpowered power up, or sort of like a certain power up that works in a certain way, or you can just have convenience sort of power ups, such as sort of the magnet badge, where it would just suck in the coins and purple coins to you, so you don't have to go get them manually. Don't have to put yourself in danger. Perfect. Obviously, tailor that how much they help or not. And the Wonder Flower. Yeah, because you get Wonder Seeds and you get Wonder Flower to do the Wonder power up thing. It was actually very trippy. It's very trippy, very just like a lot of weird stuff happening, and it's great. It's a really great gimmick for this game. That if I had more time to play games, I would go check it out, and I'd probably go try 100%ing it, because it does seem fun. Like, a fun, good time, especially with sort of 4 players as well, and also the kind of the quote-unquote easy mode if you pick Yoshi or Nabbit as one of the characters. Who did I choose? I chose Toadette, obviously. However, Toadette as an elephant is the most cursed thing I've ever seen in my life, and I wish I could erase that from my memory, and I wish it could be erased from existence. But unfortunately, it cannot. So, yeah, you just have to live with that. Although the elephant thing is kind of cursed anyway. But Elephant Toadette is very cursed. Very. Next, what do we move on to? Let's go on to the Gauntlet. I'll be bringing this up. Maybe bring this up. No, screw it, we won't. We'll just do it this one time. So the Gauntlet, the 3 games this year were Tetris for the Game Boy, the original one. Space Invaders, that was a PS2 version of it. And Sonic 3. A Sonic 3 time trial. So, it was infuriating, right? The entire week, I say weekend, it was 4 days obviously, but more or less weekend. It was the most infuriating thing, because the best I could do with the Sonic 3 time trial was a time when I wasn't recording it down for the Gauntlet, for anything like that, for like proper time, registering it and stuff. I managed to get about 19 point something. And my best official time that I could get was 20 seconds, 20 something. Did I take a picture of it? No, I took a picture of the overall standings. So yeah, that was the best I could do. It was on, it was Sonic 3 on Azure Lake, Blue Lake, and yeah, the best time that someone got there was like a 17.9. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, these are, we're all gamers and stuff. There's no real speedrunners here, but like, my God, 17 seconds is quite close to, like, sort of speedrunner times of, like 16 seconds and stuff. Because I did look it up. I had to. I was like, right, how do speedrunners do it? So that was interesting. Space Invaders was probably the most difficult one. Difficult one in terms of, I know what I can do, but the game is so restrictive, it's not letting me do what I want to do. And the scoring was so low that sort of the best ones I saw people get was maybe 3,000, 4,000 points. I managed to get 2,000 at one point. But, yeah, I was shoving it up. I don't know why I said that. I was not doing great. And then there was Tetris. Tetris didn't like me. Tetris really didn't like me. So much so that would be the game I would sit there, right? Like, I'd post my scores, empty chair at the Tetris thing. I'm sitting there and I'm just trying to get some good scores on Tetris. You had to play at level 9. Yeah, like level 9, maximum speed straight from the off, and the game just would not want to give me what I want. Like, you're trying to make Tetrises, and I couldn't do it. The game just would not let me, and it was annoying me so it was infuriating the entire 4 days. I was getting just frustrated. Yeah, there was one time where I managed to get probably about 9 lines and screw up and fill up the entire screen without getting a single line block. I swear to God, it was just against me the entire time. So the highest that I placed the entire weekend was 9th out of on the board that they showed. out of 25, which was pretty good. There was also a great point where on Saturday, I think it may have just been Saturday, that Cadicarus was at EGX. I didn't see him, unfortunately. I would have said hi, got a picture, that kind of thing, because it's Cadicarus. But I managed to beat him in the overall standings in that, and I managed to get a picture. I was on 18th, and he was 21st. And I was like, I'm better than Cadicarus at combined Sonic 3, Tetris, and Space Invaders. Hell yeah! That's nothing to brag about. So yeah, so that was a sort of interesting thing to go back to every single time and just sort of see. It was annoying because it was run by like the same like 3 or 4 people, so you'd go there and you'd go grab like the sheet to fill out, and they'd be like, back again. You're like, shut up. That was kind of hilarious. Next thing, the EGX Arena. The EGX Arena, as I mentioned previously, is a sort of proper fighting games section. This year they only had Street Fighter 6 and I want to say Tekken 7. Because I think Tekken 8's coming out soon, and it wasn't Tekken 8, it was Tekken 7. Although I'm not 100% sure on that. Although Tekken was the more boring one to watch, Street Fighter was the interesting one. Jesus Christ. So they had 2 tournaments going on. The Tekken was like the proper tournament. Like the one that's like, they have points and like a proper leaderboard that's like out of all like competitions and stuff. Whereas the Street Fighter one wasn't that. But it was, yeah, the Street Fighter one was just the way more entertaining one. And that was over, I want to say it was over 3 days. I want to say it was day 1, day 2, and day 3. But day 3 was kind of just like the finals. And day 1 was like not really the tournament stuff. But day 2 was the tournament stuff. But day 1 was kind of just like, hey, do you want to come up and play it on the big screen? You know, in front, you know, for, I assume that live stream stuff at home. So yeah, just Street Fighter was... Did I write down who won? Oh, did I write down who won? Oh. No, I didn't. Damn it. That sucks. I didn't write down. I think someone called Hurricane won the Street Fighter one. I think. I'm gonna be so terrible. Then, I also checked out some of the Rezzed and Rezzed? Yeah, the Rezzed and the like indie sort of game stuff. I checked out 2 games on the day 1, which were, first one, I love the name of this first one. It's called Yellow Taxi Go Vroom. Now, it's a mix of Crazy Taxi and kind of like, I guess, Jet Set Radio, like the first one, because you have a constant timer that's ticking down because you're a wind-up taxi. So obviously you need to keep delivering people to their places to get more time, basically more spring tension. But there's also like clocks as well to add time to your thing. But it's also a platformer and like an adventure. Like it's such an insane game. Yeah, it was such a crazy game. Just so much just happening constantly that like how do they describe it? Bumper jump arcade platformer. Yeah, it pretty much was. There was a lot of... Oh yeah, the graphics were also quite entertaining as well. It was like a pixel art, kind of like old school... Like, it's like, you know when people do like pixel art in Minecraft, and you look at it close up and you're like, these colours are all really weird, and then you zoom out and you see the full thing and you're like, oh my god, that's perfect colouring. It's that kind of thing. Very blocky, very pixely, very fun. I had a lot of fun. Go check out if you can. I mean, probably on Steam Early Access, probably. But Yellow Taxi Go Vroom. It's the best name. Was it the best name for a game that I played? Probably yes. Yes. The other one was something that I'm surprised we haven't had in the entire Battle Royale genre. We've had, well, I mean, in this way. So we've had shooters, we've had platformers, we've had Tetris, we've had Pac-Man, we've had Mario. We've got F-Zero coming up. Actually, F-Zero, the Battle Royale, whatever one Nintendo calls it, is probably closest to this. This is Stampede Racing Royale. So basically, in the short bit we played, there were 60 racers in the first round. You beat it in the top 40, you got to move on to the next one, and then in that round it was the top 20, and then after that it was to see who could win. And it was like just regular racing laps. So 60 people racing on a course. That was chaotic. Now, like I said, the only other thing that we've had that's kind of a racing battle royale is Forza Horizon's Battle Royale, which is kind of a weird thing because you race each other in a zone, and it's... But yeah, the Stampede Racing Royale definitely gets seal of approval. It's I think it was like an open beta or something, so it's very interesting. I think it's coming to Xbox as well. I think a lot of these games are coming to like PC. Sorry, I just got to adjust myself. PC and Xbox, but unfortunately nothing about PlayStation or Switch because, well, PC and Xbox just go hand in hand. Now, the after hours. What was happening in the after hours on day one? I just need to take my glasses off for a second, put my head in my hands, rub my face a bit, and say, there was some guy speedrunning Resident Evil 2 Remake with DJ decks. Yep. And it was entertaining, actually. Didn't catch the initial bit of it, the run from the car to the police station. Didn't catch that bit. It was a bit late for that. I think I was getting food. Or I was playing another game when I was on the other side of the convention hall. But it was insane. Because we're all watching it, right? Because we can't see the guy playing with like the actual DJ decks. We're all just there, just going like, oh yeah, he's playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, speedrunning it. And it's like, wait, he's using DJ decks? That's crazy. So yeah, that was kind of insane. Wasn't able to finish it, unfortunately. What was his name? Oh, Nico Hart. That was his name. Yeah, it was a speedrunning Resident Evil 2 remake on a Pioneer XDJ-RX3 DJ decks. And, yeah. Unfortunately, he couldn't beat the game because... and this is the great thing. Because he was playing it on a screen in front of him, but it also was being transmitted to a bigger sort of projector screen behind him, it wasn't on the frame rate that they usually do for speedrunning, which is 120 FPS. I think it's 120. It wasn't even at 60. It was at 50 frames a second. So some of the tricks and things that you do in a regular speedrun, you couldn't do because the frame rate was too low and couldn't go any higher, and then got to the end of the game and just couldn't kill the final boss. I think it was Leon A he was doing. So couldn't do that, couldn't get past the William Birkin boss, which is a bit unfortunate. But it was a great showing, sort of everything. I don't think I'd ever be able to get anywhere near that far into the game with some DJ decks ever. Until like the next Resident Evil game comes out, you know. it's gonna be that kind of thing. And that caps it for day one. Well, my day one. But don't worry, we're going to get through these a bit more lickety-split, because, we could just start talking about the games rather than talking about what was there, what wasn't there, and kind of, explaining more things. Day 2 apparently started with me going to the Gauntlet. So I wrote down, the first thing I wrote down, Gauntlet. So I assume I went down, I put some more terrible times and terrible scores. But the first thing, the two things that I wrote down before they actually happened was a game called Stuffed being demoed at the Res sessions presented by Barclays, which that little thing will be a bit more important later on. Trust me, I'll get on to what some people saw on day 4. There was the Stuff demo, and then there was the Dark Room in the EGX Theatre in the after hours. Oh boy, I've got some opinions on that. I'm not gonna say them here because it's not fair. It's not fair. However, the games I did play Sonic Superstars. And it is more 2D Sonic. The same thing with Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Sonic Superstars. They're classic 2D side-scroller Mario and Sonic games. If you like them, this is good. Because this is more of what you want. If you liked Sonic Mania, this is probably more of what you want and more of what you like. If you like the 2D new Super Mario Brothers sort of games, this is more of what you like, and it's good. Wow, what a surprise! As you can tell, the 2D side-scrollers for Mario and Sonic, they don't like, while I say I like Sonic 2 and new Super Mario Brothers kind of thing, I still prefer the 3D adventures for both. And I know some people are going to go, what, so you think Sonic 06 is better than... No, of course not. Sonic 06 is a broken mess. However, I do prefer the 3D games to the 2D games. Especially for Sonic. Now, I know Sonic is best at when it's 2D, and Mario's kind of better when it's 3D. But I just wasn't into Sonic Mania and Sonic Superstars was kind of the same thing. Like, I was, there was cool things added. There was the Emeralds having powers now and like upgrades, and that was interesting. But I was like, it's 2D Sonic. It's kind of the thing. It's like, you go really fast and then you hit an enemy and lose all your rings. It's that classic gameplay. So, if you like 2D Sonic, guarantee you'll like this. Like, I don't think there's been a bad 2D Sonic. In short. But yeah, obviously, the game's come out, people have played it, people have completed it, whatever. I don't need to go into more detail about it. Although I will add, there's a Lego pack, Lego character pack for the game. And some other character skins if you got the, like, digital deluxe edition. Why Lego? Why? I don't understand why. But it's in-game Lego. It's not even like, oh, you pre-order it and you get like a Lego thing for the physical edition. It's like, no, you get Lego character pack for the Anyway, the other two games that I played, both of them were very adorable, very kind of that proper, like, when you think of indie games, when you think of sort of like classic indie games, these two are gonna be adding to that list. It was Pine Hearts and Morgan Metal Detective. Now, Pine Hearts was is an isometric sort of exploration kind of game. It reminded me a lot of why did I not look this up? I wish I looked some of this stuff up. But it's like an isometric game. It's the kind of thing where you go around, you interact with the environment, you pick up like sort of things that help you in the thing. No, I'm trying to find it. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. No, not that. No. Is it that? No. Is it this? No. Is it before that? Sorry, there's a game that I played that it was very much like. Here it is. It was like Toem. That's it. Sorry. It was like Toem. Like a very nice kind of cutesy exploration kind of thing. No danger, a lot of kind of like interactable things, collectibles, that kind of things for missions and that kind of stuff. And it was all really cool and everything, and sort of the little bit that I played. However, I did bring up to whoever, I don't know whether it was a developer or whether it was just someone who was bringing the game there. I mentioned that there was some kind of like, there was like a pink, like round kind of object that was kind of like, that I was told that it was more kind of like a just like, oh, it's an interesting scenery piece. And I said, why does it look like an upside down pig? and the guy was like, that's not even the first time someone said that. And I'm like, then why does it look like, oh, because it's an interesting scenery piece, it's kind of, a bit interesting, it's meant to be like, like a pink bush, and I'm just like, just make it a pig. Just, I was expecting it just to roll out, or like me to push it, and it just rolls over and it's just a pig. That's my takeaway, but no, it's very cutesy game, very cool, very interesting. Very explorative. sort of adventure, isometric kind of thing. Then there was Morgan Metal Detective, which has the kind of I say this in a nice way, but scuffed visuals, where it's kind of like very blocky, but also like very like 2D, like sheets of paper. Like someone's cut out sheets of paper, and that's kind of what they've done to create sort of the models and the characters and all that kind of thing of how everything looks. It is very charming, but that is how it looked to me. And as the title suggests, you play as Morgan, and you use a metal detector to find things, dig things up. Now, I can't tell you much of what the story is. I didn't get much into it to kind of see that. I don't know whether the stories are, sort of, whether it's very story based to be like, hey, we can't show you this as a demo because that would be spoiling a lot of it. But we'll give you like a little bit of a plot where things like your granddad or your dad leaves you metal detector, and then you just, it's like, it's like someone goes, I've lost, a ring I was going to propose to someone with, I left it around here, or, like I was around here last, so you might as well, go check there, you dig it up, and that kind of thing, you go give it back, and they're like, thank you so much. And that was kind of like the gameplay loop. There was also, sort of like you would detect junk, and that kind of stuff. A lot of cans, bottle caps. And it was very cool, that kind of concept. And a very cool game. Adorable, loved it. Just want to see what kind of the story kind of turns into. So yeah, it was Morgan Metal Detective. But enough about that. About a game that I saw, I want to say 2021, but it could also easily be 2019, was Stuffed. The people that made Stuffed, that family-friendly Call of Duty Zombies game, genuinely, has come back to EGX again. And it's nice because I loved it. I love Stuffed, and it's an interesting thing. I can't remember if they said it's still in early access or if it's like it's still in beta kind of thing. It's kind of like they're still testing it. It's not really properly released yet, I think. Yeah, that's what they were saying. But yeah, so Stuffed, I mentioned this years ago. But yeah, it's you play as a teddy bear. You gotta protect your owner's door. You gotta protect your owner and the owner's door from all the sort of nightmare creatures, as it were, that come and attack, or sort of like give you nightmares and bad dreams and all that kind of thing. You're a bear protecting her. There's everything that they put into the game. Like, it was literally kind of like, right, what do you like? They went to like parents and adults and were just like, right, what do you not like? What is the kind of thing that turns you off from sort of the first person shooters? And they kind of mentioned, and then they kind of went, wait, I'm briefly summarizing their half-hour talk or whatever. But they went away, and then they came up, and they actually were making, or were wanting to make, sort of all the weapons in the game. So everything that is in the game, you could feasibly make in real life. It's all kind of like real life kind of things, and sort of everything, while it's kind of, sort of still the sort of family friendly kind of, there's no blood, guts, bullets, gun, sort of that kind of thing. There's still the kind of, it's still that. It's still Call of Duty Zombies. It's still a horde round-based game, and you know, sort of everything that they've done and sort of how they've managed to still sort of make this game and still manage to actually do it is amazing. I think they also said, unfortunately, that they won't be making like story to kind of go along with it, apart from sort of the story that's already there, so already for it. Which is a bit of a shame, because when I talked to them the first time, they said, I was like, is there going to be like a story kind of base? Is it going to be thing? And they're like, yeah, we're going to try to. And it's a bit unfortunate they haven't gotten to that. But they said they're not going to be doing like a second stuffed game, but they are going to be doing, or going to try and do, more games in kind of that, in the universe of the game. So I can't wait to see more of what they do and what they can do, because, you know, while it's taken some time, they've definitely done, you know, great things with however little that they had. So that's all good. Now, the Dark Room. I'm not gonna properly shit on it that I would kind of want to, because I didn't go in to the EGX theater, and it was kind of behind like curtain all the time. But I could constantly hear it while I was outside, or like not even near the EGX theater, like across the after hours section. I could still hear everything that was going on, and I was like, this is really weird. Like, obviously it would have been, you know, probably would have been better if I was there actually, you know, watching it, all kind of thing. Yeah, there was a lot of swearing for the sake of swearing, and in comedy, in my opinion, right, in comedy, there are ways to put swearing into something without it being in there just for the sake of it. You know, you don't need to swear constantly, because, you know, it's just not funny. It's not worth it. It takes away from, you know, the actual, like, the rest of it. And that's kind of what it was. There was also a lot of, yeah, it was just very loud, and I'm just like, I don't think you need to be that loud, but that's, yeah, personal preference thing. But yeah, it didn't sound like anything interesting. And I'm sorry to the person who does it. It just didn't seem like it. I apologize. And, yeah, it just seemed like, I don't know, it just wasn't, it just didn't seem like anything worth. No, I'm not gonna. But I didn't see it, so I can't say anything for certain. That's all just me from what I could hear outside of it. Day 3! So, what was that? Makeup Expo opposite. Oh yeah, there was a for some reason on the Saturday and Sunday there was a like in the other hall there was like a makeup expo, and I'm just like, I don't understand why that is an expo, why that's a convention, because I can understand gaming, you know, I can understand Comic-Con. What do you do with fashion and makeup? But obviously I didn't have a ticket, so I couldn't go in. final main game that I played was a game called Billy Bust Up. Now, I need to get the description for this game up because I wasn't sure what to make of it. So it says, for the description of it, embark on a thrilling and imaginative odyssey in a 3D platforming musical inspired by your favourite timeless magical animated films. Now, it did have weird, it had the animation of the characters' faces are flat, right? Like, their face texture is flat, and their mouth has like 3 or 4 frames that it moves when they're talking. But it also had a vibe of like Ratchet and Clank, sort of old school, or sort of early or PS2 platformers, 3D platformers, mixed with a bit of Cuphead visuals as well. It was really weird. Then I went to play it. Jesus Christ. I wrote down, right, as my little tagline for it, the brutal musical. This game was difficult. You had a Mario 64 / Mario Sunshine-esque health meter, which had 8 segments in it. So there's the main segment is sort of you start the demo and you explore like a church, graveyard church kind of thing, and then big cutscene happens, and then you're in a running towards the camera section with things trying to kill you. And that was kind of the 2 main sections of this demo. And my god, was it difficult. It was insanely difficult to do at all. Now, I say it was musical. Yes, while you were running towards the screen, there was singing and all that kind of thing about how the thing chasing you wants you dead and how you want to die. It was the hardest platforming I've ever done. It was like, it was ridiculous. Like, I don't want to say it, but it was kind of like Cuphead levels of difficulty. Like, if you thought Crash Insane Trilogy platforming was difficult, this is harder. This is way hard. It's like 3 times as hard. It was ridiculous. Ridiculously difficult. Like, I don't know anyone who managed to get through that segment without dying. Like, the running towards the screen without dying, because it wasn't that reactionary. It was just like, hey, you've got no time to do anything. You're going to get hit by everything because the timing doesn't make sense and it's not to the music. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. It was difficult. Next thing was the cosplay. This kind of... I'm going to kind of put both of the cosplay days together. So, the cosplay stuff, obviously because it's EGX, gaming convention, rather than, MCM, Comic-Con kind of thing, there was barely any anime, and 0 Genshin. 0 Genshin cosplayers? What? That really confused me, because Genshin is still sort of like the really popular cosplay thing. You know? Like at MCM earlier this year, not this weekend one earlier, there was a lot of Genshin, there was a lot of Genshin people around, there was a lot of Genshin cosplayers. And now at the gaming convention, where Genshin is a game, no one's in Genshin. There's Genshin merch to buy, but no Genshin cosplayers. Now, it was really... just confusing. Just really confusing. Just baffled me. However, there was lots of Cyberpunk 2077, so much so that Cyberpunk 2077 got its own section of cosplay showcase. What? Yeah, there was apparently so many Cyberpunk cosplayers that they just went, we probably should just put them all in their own section, really. But there was obviously the competition, that kind of thing, and some amazing cosplays. Like, if you can find any of them online from the EGX thing, please do. They're amazing, insane, talented cosplayers, and also very courageous and very brave of going up there on stage. Because I could never do that unless I was in a cosplay that had a mask on, no one could see my face, and also I, didn't fall over. And then, that's it. That's really all that was happening. Day 4 was a mix of me watching the Tekken sort of tournament stuff, the EGX Gauntlet, walking around, picking up some more picking up sort of the last little bits of merch, and checking out the cosplayers and the cosplayer for the last bit, as well as food. Now, there are a couple of things while we just wind down. I know this is an hour-long video of me just talking about EGX 2023, but I really want people to go to it. And also get my experience, as someone who's going by themselves. There's a lot more stuff to do if you go with multiple people. A lot more kind of things you make it, you know what to do if you've got friends. But I've just got a couple of closing questions that I did for day 3 going into day 4. Just because some things kind of came to mind, I was just gonna just came to mind. So by the end of day 3, I said, is there anything else that I'd want to buy in terms of sort of the merch and stuff? And not really. There was a couple of things that I picked up that I saw, sort of, and that was kind of day 3. But yeah, it kind of got to the point where there was kind of, obviously less stuff's, being sold out and that kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I've gotten what I want. I'm, and I got to that point where you're trying to convince yourself, like, oh, nah, actually, I kind of do want it, but it's like, you don't really want it, that kind of thing. I also wrote down, do I play COD for the memes? Because, obviously, I played weekend 1 of the beta, and then I played the few hours that I got left of the weekend 2 of the beta when I got home. Yeah, then I put down what is more embarrassing, EGX sponsored by Virgin Media or TikTok. Also, quick overheard, football manager causes divorce. I'm not even going to give any more context to that. That doesn't need any more context. That's what I overheard when I was walking past someone talking about football manager games. Because that was a panel for some reason. And then I also wanted to question, how much do the food stalls make in the Excel Centre as a whole? Like, do you think they make a lot because the food's expensive? And obviously when it's convention days, a lot of people are going to be going through, and a lot of people are going to be paying, getting food and everything. So it's going to be, quite a lot. But is it not a lot? Because all the places close, all the food stalls close down at about 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Now, EGX goes until 10 p.m. on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, do they then make less? And also, because convention days are normally sort of the weekend, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, do they not make a lot during the week? So then when they make a lot during the weekend, it kind of measures out? Is it also because the location as well, being inside the XL, you know, the Exhibition Centre of London, or Exhibition Centre London? So that kind of just came to me. Another question for the Street Fighter. So for Street Fighter 6, during sort of the intro kind of thing, you select your characters and it goes on to like verses and loads up all the map and everything. It has like little stats for the characters. I have questions because I did some googling. Now I don't need to do much googling because I know, based on me playing WWE games for some time, that John Cena, you know, John Cena, you can't see him, everyone knows who John Cena is, right? He weighs 250 pounds. Now, you don't need to know how much that is in whatever thing. He weighs 250 pounds, right? Guile, right, who is a very common Street Fighter character, you know, the guy with the, like, weird kind of flat top, but kind of goes out, blonde hair, army guy, right? You look at him in Street Fighter 6, and you look at John Cena. Now, you'd go, Guile probably weighs a lot more than John Cena, because of look how fucking massive Guile is compared to John Cena. No, apparently Guile, I had it, weighs about 200, was it like 12 pounds? Nah, not believing it for a second, Street Fighter. Fucking Capcom, get your shit together. And he's like 6 foot. You know, John Cena's like 6'2". How? Just, no. Shut up, Capcom. You know, you don't know anything about weights, heights, sizes, anything like that. And now, to finally bring it on to something that I would 100% want to show you, but I think it'd be funnier if you guys looked at it for yourself. So, but with that in a second, I'll end that with. So that's been my EGX 2023. I had a lot of fun. It felt like way longer than what it actually was, and in this sense, it's a good thing. You know, it was 4 days. It felt like a full week. You know, which is what I want. I wanted it to be like that. And yes, I do agree with some people saying there's a bit things kind of missing, and there could be a lot more kind of companies. Microsoft could be there, Sony could be there, that kind of thing. I completely understand. And I do kind of wish there'd be more that kind of stuff. I wish Nintendo would have had a bit more than just Super Mario Brothers Wonder. You know, even if they had kind of like classic games, you know, sort of like, you know, promoting Nintendo Switch Online, you know, other kind of like PlayStation stuff, and you know, that'd all be great, but unfortunately, I'm not sure when that, if that stuff will be coming back. But I still really enjoyed it. I enjoy my time there. I always do. And here is to EGX next year, which is in, well, the London one is in September. Is there actually, can I don't think I can. But yeah, it's been fun, EGX. Every year I get, you know, a bit tearful when it comes to sort of the end of Saturday and the end of Sunday, and you know, I get a bit emotional and it's a bit sad. But it's all good. And if there were, you know, if my little promotion sort of pleading, really, for more cosplayers to come along, or people who cosplay, or people who want to cosplay, or people who are interested in games in any sense, please, and you're in the UK, please come to EGX, even if it's just for like one day, the Friday or the Saturday. Please do. It's a great thing. There's you know, not many other kind of conventions in the UK, so sort of saying something that's, you know, got a lot of reputation behind it and everything, I feel like I can, you know, sort of stake my name on it as well, whatever that means, however much my name can be staked. Yes, but thank you everyone for listening to this kind of podcasty kind of talk for the EGX 2023 recap. I will leave you with a recreation of what happened when I looked at the Saturday schedule, saw the after hours, and it said Chipzel and didn't have a description for it. I said, what the fuck is Chipzel? I don't know what that is. There's no description for it. It's an after hours thing. Sure, I'll go have a look. I was standing next to the EGX theatre. I was actually at the Gauntlet section, right? It was like, yeah, this is Chipzel, and then they started playing chiptune music, remixes of games. It was a dubstep nightclub that was playing like Super Hexagon and Mario and Tetris chiptune music remixed. I walked in, saw a sea of people who very clearly were realising that you were paying £7 a pint and were gamers while this very loud music was going on, and not even like any kind of like like imagery going on in like the screen behind them. I go in, I pull out my phone, I go to video, I record, I get 5 seconds of it, and I go, I am way too sober for this. Stop recording, walked out, and continued to play the other retro games and the arcade games, because if that would have been in like a regular club where, you know, you're paying like £5 for a drink, where you're paying like whatever for a drink, and you know it's like you're already sort of like getting, you know, kind of like the drinks are coming in and that kind of stuff, then yeah, maybe I would have been up there, you know, kind of grooving, but not when it was £7 for a pint and they had terrible selection. Yeah, I'll just leave that there. But thank you everyone for watching or listening. Soon there will be an update at the end of the year on what's going to be happening with this channel. Until then, thank you everyone for listening. Use StealthyXLI at dubby.gg and check out, get 10% off your order. Please do, it will help me in this trying time. And peace out.